Over 70% of Nigerians' population is under the age of 30. We are undeniably a nation of young people, yet youth unemployment sits at a staggering rate, pushing millions of young Nigerians into the gig economy. In this generation, we see tech bros coding till 3 a.m. Or are we going to talk about the Instagram vendors, the freelance writers, and the startup founders fighting to survive in an economy where inflation is breathing down their necks? Because of this daily struggle, there is a deep-seated fear among the youth. Where the government mentions tax reforms, the immediate thought is, they want to kill my side hustle. Many young people feel invisible in the conversation, but highly visible when it's time to collect the revenue. Welcome to Tax Cage. I'm your host, Hallel Reign. Today we are asking the hard questions on your behalf. Yes, you, the Nigerian youth. Were you at the table when these new tax laws were drafted? Or were you just on the menu? To answer this, we have with us in the studio a member of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee and former chairman of the Tax Appeal Tribunal, Barrister Chukwuemeka A. You're welcome to Tax Gate, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. All right, so we're going to kickstart the conversation, but before we kickstart that conversation, we're just going to go on a very short break.
All right.
I'll be right back. Welcome back to Tax Gauge. We have with us here in the studio Barrister Chukwuemeka A, a member of the Presidential Fiscal Committee on Tax Reforms. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you. Currently, I'm a member of the National Tax Policy Implementation Committee.
Interesting.
So my engagement with the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee has ended.
Oh, interesting. But the committee is still running.
Yeah, I think no, it has been taken over by the National Tax Policy Implementation Committee because we are at the implementation stage.
Okay.
Yes.
So now it's implementation, not draft and reform.
Yes, that the other one has ended its work.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
that doesn't mean it is completely dissolved.
Okay.
But most members, they have been discharged.
Interesting.
So rather, what is still in force and existing is the National Tax Policy Implementation Committee headed by Joseph Tegbe, who was just appointed the Minister of Power about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that, sir. Thank you for that, Barrister. All right, so we're going to move straight into the crux of the matter. Now, so many young Nigerians, I think you would agree with me that so many young Nigerians feel left out. They feel like they're not part of the whole conversation when it comes to tax reforms and fiscal reforms or whatever the case may be. So what I want to ask is this. Were the young people considered first of all, when the committee was put together, when the committee convened, were the young people considered when these reforms were being, spoken about, when they were being deliberated on? But the young people considered, were they laws, were they, put into constitution, first of all? Let's start from there.
Yes, young people were considered, if you remember, on 8 August 2023, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, inaugurated the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee. One of those who took picture with the president in that group was a student of the Faculty of Law, Tax Club, Faculty of Law, University of Lagos.
Oh, interesting.
And certainly was a youth.
Interesting.
So that's to tell you that the youth was considered ab initio. Besides, when the committee started sitting, the way it was structured was that the secretariat was manned mainly by students who were brought in from higher institutions, from many from the socio-political zones.
Okay.
Yes. Some students were brought in and they stayed throughout with the committees.
Wow.
They received stipends, participated in
Deliberations.
some sections of the deliberations, especially with respect to listening and making
Okay.
some inputs, especially when memoranda were required.
Okay.
Yes, so the youth were brought in, they played a role, but deliberations at the committee were not segmented
Okay.
into youths, women, men, boys, girls. Rather, the broader view of taxpayers among the stakeholders. When you look at the national tax policy, we have those we call stakeholders: the executive, judiciary, the legislature, tax administrators, taxpayers, tax professionals. So you look at things from that perspective, not necessarily in terms of youths,
Representation.
boys, girls. No, in terms of conversation, deliberation.
Deliberation.
I have actually handled the first issue that the youths
the
were
part of it.
represented.
Okay.
But in terms of deliberations, it was not based on youths and non-youths.
Okay. It was based on professional cadre.
No, I said the stakeholders.
Stakeholders.
Yes. That is to say how it will affect each segment, ensuring that each segment played a role. But in this particular segments, you have youths.
Okay.
You cannot discuss all these segments. We have young people in the National Assembly, in the executive, and even some persons that represented institutions were as young as 30 something. So we had young people there.
You had young people there.
Yeah.
So would you say that when the deliberations were being made in regards to the tax reforms, would you say that ample consideration was given to the young people of the country?
Yes. The answer is yes.
How would you?
For instance, you recall that the threshold for non-payment of companies' income tax was previously 50 million.
Exactly.
Okay, and the asset valued at not more than 250 million.
Sure.
Later, it was moved to 100 million.
For assets.
Because many people that have labeled startups, they have the annual turnover is more than 100 million.
Okay.
But at least anybody doing up to 100 million should be protected from those essential taxes like CIT, companies income tax, value added tax, development levy.
Okay.
So yes, and mainly it is the young people who are involved in businesses with this type of range that has annual turnover of this range. Any young person whose annual turnover has gone beyond that should be ready to do what does.
Because that's actually the next question I was about to get to. I wanted to ask practically, someone a 24-year-old who runs a delivery business, a logistics business, how is this new tax law protecting them? So I want you to, could you just give like a practical instance, to a young person listening to us right now, and is asking, okay, for me in this my business, how is this new tax law protecting me currently? How is it going to affect? There are a lot of fears going out there, so we want to douse those fears. So how is it protecting them?
If the young person, a 24-year-old person, is involved in a labeled startup.
Okay, what do you mean by labeled exactly?
Labeled startup is if it's into tech.
Okay.
He registered with National Information Technology Development Agency,
NITDA.
it becomes labeled.
Oh, okay.
If you don't register, it's not
Not
labeled.
Okay.
So if you register with NITDA,
Okay.
it's a labeled startup. And you know there's the Nigeria Startup Act 2022.
Okay.
Section 25 of that act protects anybody involved in startup
Interesting.
at least 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So in the same vein, if you look at Section 162 of the Nigeria Tax Act, you see that the label startup is protected for at least 2 years if the person managing the startup, or the owner, or whoever, the investor, if that person retains the assets in the country for at least 2 years,
Okay.
he won't pay tax. So if that 24-year-old falls into that category, he won't pay certain types of taxes. Remember, nobody is excluded from not paying any tax at all,
Okay.
because we have more than one tax. We are talking about those taxes that are more or less compulsory. Like if you have a company, you are supposed to pay company's income tax. So
Okay.
there's a threshold.
All right.
So, but if the person is running a label startup, he can say, okay, yes, because I'm running a label startup, it's even more than 100 million. Then he has to apply, ensure, because that's an incentive.
Okay.
That exemption
It's an incentive.
yes,
Okay.
for which he has to file returns on incentives. So that 24-year-old, if he's involved in agriculture,
Okay.
for an agricultural company, for 5 years from the date you have established it, you will not pay tax on the profits.
Okay.
Yes. If the gains you make by buying federal government and state government bonds, you will not pay
Tax.
yes. So you can see that 24-year-old can invest in agriculture, tech startup, can also invest in federal government and state government bonds.
Okay.
Like treasury bills, by them.
Interesting.
Yes. So he can engage in a sporting company, because under Section 162 of the Nigeria Tax Act, a sporting company, the profits of a sporting company is tax-free.
So when you mean sporting company,
company's income tax.
and when you mean sporting company, do you mean like betting companies, or do you
No,
mean like
no, sports like
football boots,
yeah,
footballs?
yes, yes. So
Interesting.
the government wants to promote agriculture. Government wants to promote
Sports.
technology. So there are incentives. That's why you have these exemptions, so that young people can get more into this.
Okay, so if I hear
It's
you,
not something. It doesn't have to do with betting.
okay, so if I hear you clearly, you're saying that those who are in the tech industry, those who are in agriculture,
if it's a startup, it doesn't mean once you are just in the tech industry that you won't pay tax. So, see, for many, all these things are qualified.
Okay.
They have thresholds. So it doesn't mean it's not an absolute situation. So, but we were discussing about that 24-year-old.
Oh, okay, okay. So what in essence, what you're saying?
Age is not.
Yes, is the start of the business. Status of the business.
Not just even the value of. Okay. For instance, if a 24-year-old person has a profit of 10 billion, so the age is totally irrelevant. Okay. Yes, completely irrelevant.
Interesting.
Yes, what a taxman looks at is income. And that's why Section 24F of the 1999 Constitution places a duty on the citizen to pay his income tax promptly to the appropriate government agency. So you can see it is, do you earn income? It is not a matter of whether you are 24 21, 30, 70.
It's not a matter of
If
that.
you don't earn income, then
All right, so you clearly stated now, I just want to clarify for those watching, clearly stated now that especially for those who are in these industries you mentioned, the agricultural, the technological, and then in the sporting industry, right? You said that they have protection for certain years. First of all,
yes,
I
they
guess
have
you mean
protection.
protection means that you're not going to pay those basic taxes like this company income tax, right?
Yes, yes.
So if
and development.
definitely levy, great.
Yeah.
So if their income supersedes that threshold within that time frame, are they going to pay or they're not going to pay?
Now, for instance, if you're into agriculture, it is no longer an issue of 100 million.
Oh,
Yes.
that time, the time supersedes the
Yes.
threshold. Great.
So within those 5 years,
Okay.
yes, because it is expected that you should grow. You
Hmm.
should grow. So when you see, when government makes certain legislations and exempt certain people from it, is intended to drive growth, more growth in those areas.
Interesting.
Yes. And young people have the energy.
Yeah, they do.
Government wants to exploit that energy in these areas, in technology, in agriculture. And young people can take, they can do something in that regard. We ignore agriculture. So if you start selling shoes and you expect to avoid payment of taxes when the annual turnover is more than 100 million, it will not happen, even if you are 19 years. So it's not a matter of
age.
happen. Yes. So, but if you want a place to have rest for at least for 5 years, go and start growing pomegranate, beetroot, and there are many supermarkets you can supply to. Make sure they are neat, package them well with labels. Before you know it, you start exporting.
Exactly.
Yes, if you grow them well, they are neat, and you can run away. The only thing you have responsibility to file
Your tax,
returns, filing of returns.
even if you're not paying.
Yes, because there's a difference between payment of tax and filing of tax returns. Some people, they don't know the difference between the two. Once you say that they are exempted, they go home to sleep. They don't know they are supposed to file return. Indicate it there that, oh, this is an agriculture company.
This is what I did.
Yes, because it may be agriculture company on paper, but one is actually using it for money laundering.
Interesting.
So the authorities, it is when you file returns and give details, because the devil lies in the details.
Yes.
The form we contain avenue to provide details.
Exactly.
At that point, the authorities will decide whether it is one to be picked for audit or not. So don't just go with the label. Some vehicles you see very nice things. Who knows tomorrow? But you don't know that vehicle may be used for criminal activity.
Yes.
No, but when you see, say, I like what is. So sometimes look beyond that. That's why the authorities will want you to file returns. And as you are well aware that Section 11 of the Nigeria Tax Administration Act makes it mandatory for tax returns to be filed. Individuals, Section 13. Those on pay as you earn, Section 14. So of the Nigeria Tax Administration Act.
Okay,
Not Tax Act.
NTA.
Tax Administration Act 2025. So you are bound to do so. If you don't,
thank you so much, Barrister.
All right.
So you heard it right here on Tax Gauge. If you're into agriculture, tech, or into sports, there's a concession for you. But when we come back, we're going on a short break. When we come back, we're going to dive into another interesting area on penalties. Do well to subscribe, like, and enter into the comment section and tell us your thoughts about this conversation. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Tax Gauge. We're having a conversation here with Barrister Chukwuemeka A, and we've been talking about the involvement of youths in tax reform policies. And we're able to talk about the different sectors that youths have concession when it comes to payment of tax. So if you missed that, go back and watch it. But right now, Barrister A, we're going to go into another interesting conversation. So there are so many youths who are involved in different types of businesses, registered, unregistered. Earlier I spoke about being labeled. So many youths are not even labeled and not labeled, some are just doing their business and they are earning income. So we'd like to know what specific hidden clauses, hidden penalties, or compliance demands are in this new tax law that they are not aware of that is going to, sneak up on them when they least expect.
All right. I don't see them as hidden. Whatsoever you don't read, you don't know. So they are not hidden, they're in the books.
They are hidden because they don't know. That's basically.
No, if they want to know, they will know. There are 4 laws, basically, and we are aware that the Nigeria Tax Act consolidated the substantive provisions of the tax laws,
Okay.
while the Nigeria Tax Administration Act consolidated the procedures, the compliance mechanisms of tax administration in Nigeria. So one of the things that is not hidden, it's been in the social media for a long time, that there has to be tax ID. We have to obtain a tax ID.
Sure.
Yes, as a starting point. I remember recently I sent a proposal I made to an organization. I forgot to add my tax ID. They requested it.
Interesting.
Before they could
Process.
get to the point of payment, they requested I should send it. So it is expected that it should be quoted somewhere on your documents when you are engaging in services or transactions. So when you have your tax ID, you also have a responsibility to know the deadlines for payment of.
Okay. Deadlines.
Yes.
Could you
The
could you share some?
thresholds, you need to know the thresholds.
Okay.
You need to know the deadlines. I'll give you an instance. If
Exactly.
you engage in a transaction involving withholding tax, you are expected to, if you dealt with a corporate entity, then that you are supposed to withhold and send to the Nigeria Revenue Service. And you do it within 21 days of the following month. So if you don't know about this deadline, you could relax. After 21 days of the following month, you don't do it. You might be required to pay for the first month of failure, maybe 100,000. Subsequent months, 50,000 per month. So
100,000 naira when you default.
First month.
Okay.
Subsequent months,
50,000
per month.
Okay.
So assuming you default for 12 months, so it will mean 100,000 for the first month, 50,000 times 11, 550 plus 100. That means 650,000.
For only one payment, or not for several. For
yes.
payments you missed. Interesting. Okay.
It depends on the computation. That is to say, assuming we are dealing with a particular transaction. If there's another transaction that you did not also do the needful, computation will be done with respect to that transaction. Because when the first transaction started running, in terms of lateness or failure to pay or file, may not be when the second transaction started. So the computation for a particular transaction may differ from the other one.
Exactly.
So when the laws were released, you heard so much about freebies in the social media. This one will be free, the other one will be free. Once you start seeing things that are free, know that the flip side look for the flip side. So compliance is very important.
Okay.
So every young person should be concerned with compliance.
Compliance. So
Yeah.
could you just hold that thought there? I want to clarify something for our audience. So this penalty you're speaking of, is it penalty for filing or penalty for payment?
Both for payment and for filing. But let's take, for instance, if it's a company, you file within 6 months.
Yeah.
Before the end of 6 months of the accounting year. So assuming you started 1st January 2025, it is expected that by 30 June 2026, you would have filed your CIT.
Okay.
But remember, in the course of this period, you were engaging in transactions that you were supposed to deduct value added tax and remit. So if you don't deduct, or you deduct but you don't remit, there are consequences. That means your compliance level is suspect, and you have to pay a lot of money. Now, what if there are transactions involving withholding taxes, like you give out contracts?
Yeah, like that's a popular
You hired a lawyer, hired an auditor. You were supposed to withhold, and you did not. That's non-compliance. Or you withheld, but refused to issue receipt to the person that gave the service that you paid, who you paid. You didn't issue receipt, and you didn't remit. Because when you withhold, you're expected to remit. So remittance within the time allowed by law is compliance. Beyond the time allowed by law is non-compliance. And you have consequences for non-compliance.
And so the compliance in this scenario is both for filing and for payment.
Sure.
Interesting.
Because the law gives time.
Time for each of these things.
Yes.
Each of these things. So that means they need to take note of their deadlines, and we're talking about thresholds. Could you expand?
Yes, for instance, we've talked about, in terms of corporate entities, the 100 million naira slash at annual turnover slash 250 million naira in value of assets. Now, what of a situation where your annual turnover is 90 million, but you have assets of 300 million? You come within the large company threshold.
You come within large company threshold.
Yes. You come within. For instance, somebody might be riding a car of 200 million with office rent of 100 million, with a lot of other things. At the end of the day, see, net worth is up to 500 million. It's saying that
it's a small, because it's
it's 20 years or 22 years. I mean, the age doesn't matter.
Age doesn't matter.
So, so it is necessary for young people to look beyond age when considering tax issues. They should look at
capacity,
income, threshold, deadlines, compliance mechanisms,
tax ID,
non-compliance, consequences of non-compliance. They should endeavor to have, if they cannot on their own study all this to know, they should have tax agents who should handle this on their behalf. And they should also know that the authorities are advanced in data mining. The era of deciding I will lie to them that I have one account instead of three. They will know. Once they key in your phone number, a lot of information about you will come out.
Wow.
Yes. They can trace your account. Even with the name of your company, they can get your RC number from the Corporate Affairs Commission, and they can mine your data. And that's why you see some companies, they, even without engaging in any transaction today, they get letters from Nigeria Revenue Service saying, so year 2024, your annual turnover was 220 million, 2025, 370 million. You are liable in VAT, liable in CIT,
Exactly.
liable in withholding tax. You are liable in perhaps those years when we had education
Tax.
tax, because it will still be collected based on
Exactly.
the law
On the law.
operational at that time.
Exactly.
So sometimes you start wondering, who told them? How did they?
How do you know?
So that era is gone. So that's why it is necessary for young people, the type of interest they put into football, they should divide it into two and put half into
taxation.
because they are going to spend a lot of money.
Kai. Yeah.
Yes, they are going to lose a lot if they refuse to learn it.
All right. So as we draw the curtain for this particular edition, I want to ask a question, very practical question. Right. So we have an influencer. So this is a scenario where we have an influencer who he's not a registered business, but he earns money by influencing for brands on their social media page, and is being paid for that. He's not a registered business. He's just an individual who earns an income, right? So this person now, let's assume in a year, the person hits more than that 100 million. Would that person be treated as a corporate entity, or would the person be treated as an individual? And among these two, will I say, sides of the divide, which is treated as an entity or treated as an individual, which side is better for them to stay on? Should they stay as an individual? Should they stay as a corporate? And how would they be taxed?
If you stay as an individual, you'll be, remember, for when you are dealing with online business,
Yeah.
good. The Nigerian Revenue Service has an agreement with Facebook, Instagram, all those ones. So they act as their agents.
Yeah.
And they deduct from the monies due to you. They deduct your value added tax and send to the Nigerian Revenue Service. So electronically, they already have information on you. So whether you want to go as an individual, in which case only 800,000 naira will be 0%.
Yeah.
The next 2.2 million naira, 15%. Remember, the next one, you have 18%,
18% before 25.
21, 23, and 25. If it's above 50 million, 25%. So you have to pay as an individual. If it's a company, it will be recorded that you fall within the threshold.
Hi.
But for individuals,
Hi.
only 800,000 will be excluded, except if you show evidence of being a tenant. 500,000 naira will be allowed, or 20% of the rent, whichever one is lower.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I understand.
Whichever one is lower. So such computations, anyway, if you're involved in pensions, that can be
pensions,
taken.
health,
Yes.
Health insurance, and the rest of it.
Yes. So outside that, the other ones will be computed as provided for the fourth, provided in the fourth schedule to the Nigeria Tax Act.
Okay.
With respect to the rates on personal income tax.
Exactly.
They are contained in the fourth schedule.
So you heard it right here on Tax Cage. Our barrister has clarified for us. If you're an influencer and you earn money online, it's better you register your business. That way you are protected. But I'd like to ask, Barrister, under the CAC, there are two segments of registration. There's a business name and there is a company registration. So if you register as a business name and you're earning above 100 million, are you going to pay company income tax to the federal or to the state government?
No, if you're not a limited liability company, you will pay to state governments.
Pay to state governments under the same
Yes.
schedule, using the same
What?
schedule, using the same 30% for above 100 million?
No, not. There's nothing like that. Threshold is
Mm.
not for dealings with
State government.
the state government, but Section 29 of the Nigeria Tax Act provides for what we call presumptive tax regime.
Okay.
On 4th March 2026, the then Minister of Finance, Mr. Hallel Reign, signed the presumptive tax regulations.
Okay.
It is still under gazetting by the federal government printer. When it is released to the public, it is expected that those who are unable to keep records, those in the informal sector, that they will be paying maybe 1% of their annual turnover as tax. So that the rates in the first schedule to the NTA will not be the applicable one.
Okay.
So some of those people that you can say, where are your financial account, where are this, where are that, and they will produce it. Some of them that are not really operating at that level, definitely they will pay based on presumptive tax. Okay. Just like whether you're a hairdresser, all those ones might be, except you have a boutique at Metama. That one may not be, it may not come under presumptive tax.
It won't come under. I strongly believe the influencers won't come under presumptive tax.
Certainly, if they are into crypto, their yields and all that, they won't necessarily come. It depends on value. It depends on, because some people earn from adverts.
Exactly.
Yeah, they earn from adverts.
Yeah, that's how most of them make their money. That's what they call influencing now. That's what they call influencing.
The influencers.
So that's why I was asking that. So for them, they are paying to the state governments right now, the State Internal Revenue Service.
Certainly. You remember when this influencer in Lagos,
I think his name is Spella. Yeah, Spella.
The
State Internal Revenue Service.
Lagos State Internal Revenue Service sent assessment to him to pay. It was Lagos State that sent him because residence is the basis of personal income taxation, and he has been resident in Lagos. So
okay, you know what, Barrister? In the next segment, we're going to dive more deeper into that. But for right now, we're going to draw the curtain here for this edition. This is Tax Cage, and we've been having a beautiful conversation with Barrister Chukwuemeka A, a former member of the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms and Fiscal Policies, and he has opened our eyes to a lot of insights when it comes to tax reforms, and explain to us how the young people like you have been a part of this whole tax policy generation. So we're going to draw the curtain here, but we will be back to continue this conversation, especially in regards to influencers and how they're meant to pay their tax. This is Tax Gauge, and I remain your host, Hallel Reign.